First and foremost, Coach, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us today. Today, we're speaking to arguably one of the best coaches in the modern era of volleyball. He is the winningest coach in the modern era of the Champions League. 6 Champions League titles, 3 Club World Championships, 7 Turkish titles. Has been with Vakıfbank since 2008. And now is newly been appointed.
I am old.
And has now been appointed the head coach of the Canadian women's national team. It is the one, the only Mr. Giovanni Guidetti. And Coach, first and foremost, thank you very much for taking the time. And how are you? Right now, it is late February. This time of year is always difficult for the athletes, right? This is always a difficult time for the athletes, but how is it for the coaches? You're in the throw of the Süttenlar Ligi. Vakıfbank is sitting in third at 17-4. You have a really big Champions League quarterfinal coming up against Fenerbahce in a couple of weeks. So how are you doing right now in this period of the season?
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. Always big honor and pleasure. So I'm okay. I am in this, when I think about myself, I see myself inside a train that never stops. Just change city, I change, view sometimes, of course, from the window, I see always something different and it's very interesting, but this train, basically never stop. We have just few stops sometime of couple of days or maybe 3-4 days I can enjoy my family. So I'm used to be inside this train and I love to be inside this train. And I am busy, of course I'm busy because the season of Vakıfbank is in the most stressful part, like you mentioned. So there are no more easy matches in front of us. And every match we have to win to keep our position and to try to have a better playoff position. Talking about Turkish League, we just qualify in a very match for the Turkish Cup final. And like you mentioned also, we have Fenerbahce match quarterfinal Champions League. That probably will be one of the most toughest quarterfinal. I hope would be one of the toughest quarterfinal in all Champions League. And so we are ready for that. And in the meantime, I'm planning, my season with Canada. I'm trying to understand the program and what to do, which way, which flight to take and how many free days give to the player, and start to understand the amount of player that I want to see. And so I am pretty busy, yes. And when I have free time, I have an 8-year-old daughter, then of course don't let me free time, like no. It's like has to be. And my wife is also still playing. She wants to play playoff in a while. She wants to come to Sultan League from his team with their team. So we are okay. We are not bored at all here.
That sounds like you guys have a lot on your calendar. Like is this just normal for you now because you've been doing it for so long? You've coached internationally and club in tandem now for almost 20 years. Is it just part of the normal routine for you?
It is. And I can tell you, that there was a moment after Olympic where I said, okay, next summer I will not make nothing. Next summer I will take care about my body. my hip need a replacement as soon as I can, And so I need to take care of my body, I take care of my family, I will take a little bit of rest, I will study, I will do blah, blah, blah. And then I said no to a couple of offers that I had. But then came the offer of Canada and I immediately, accepted because I always enjoy to see the Canadian team play. I enjoy to see Canadian player performing. And so I believe in this team a lot. And I never watch what happened in the ball. I mean, I never really lived the volleyball outside Europe because, of course, I coached Turkey, Germany, Holland, Serbia, Italy, but okay, so I'm pretty. I know what's going on in Europe, but I don't know what's going on, in America, in North America. So it will be very, very interesting to see how it's going the volleyball there. And yeah, I mean, this is my life. So, it's pretty normal for me to go from club to national team, club to national team. And I always say to everybody that I'm not very smart, So I just have one brain for winter, that is the volleyball brain. And then I switch to one to my summer brain, that is a brain of national team. So I really try not to mix, Of course, I need to make some plan right now, and that it is also, some easy work to do, because just put all the calendar and think about that. So not too much thinking, and just because my focus is volleyball. But really, as soon the last ball of volleyball league finish, then my focus will be only Canada, And I really don't like to mix, and I don't like to mix for myself, and also I don't like to disturb my player about that. What one my philosophy. Of course, I made some call and some chat with some player, but it would be just one time, 20-25 minutes, and they don't need to listen me. They don't have to have me like, listen how it's going on, what can I do, how can I yell? No, this is their club season, their life. And I don't have much to do, and I like to let them free, and I do the same for myself, basically.
Okay, wow, that's you have that ability to compartmentalize between club season and national team season, and
I need to do this is kind of surviving mode. So if I don't do like that, I would be really overwhelmed. If while I'm coaching basketball, I have to take care also about how is this player, how is the other player, what they're doing, and really care about them a lot. It would be it would be impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really impossible, because I need to take care about the player of basketball. And of course, I need to be aware of what's going on about Canadian player, like I did for Serbian player, like I did for Turkish player, like I did for German player, like I did for Bulgarian player, like I did for, Holland player, Dutch players, I did that, but I don't want to enter too much. Okay. Of course, they know if they need me, I am here, but I don't want to disturb them too much, so if there is not a need, okay, finish your season, and in summer, I will be your 24/7. This is a little bit my philosophy.
All right. Now, you do have somewhat maybe of a luxury of being able to do a little bit of both with Kier Van Rijk, who's currently opposite for Vakif Bank, and will be the opposite potentially for the women's national team. I don't want to make any decisions for you. Now, how much of did Kira have any influence on the decision and on that process at all, or were you able to kind of just watch how that team and program has grown over the past few years, and that's kind of what made you want to take on this new challenge?
I think both of the things you mentioned are correct. It happened both. So one side, I really admire Canada a lot. See this team that have, I believe, till now they show to have 4 amazing players. And it's not a secret, because the team was made from, Kira, Brie, Emily, and Alexia. Okay, this was the main core of the team, and these are all players that are playing very well overseas, very well, internationally also. So there was this core team, and then all other players, and these players together, they always perform amazing. I always congratulate and respect a lot the job of Shannon, because this team was always performing high level. Was always very difficult to play against Canada, because first of all, you always knew that you would have faced a great fighting team. That maybe with some technical skills that they could have done better, but always you played against a great fighting team. And this is what I want from each team that I coach. And this, for me, this is the main thing. If we don't fight, we don't do sport. If we don't want to die before the last ball, we don't do sport. We don't do professional sport. We can go in fitness gym, or yoga class, but we will not play to compete. So I always saw that in Team Canada, and of course, I had the luck to coach Kira, that is not only an amazing player, not only an amazing person, but she's also probably one of the most professional human being I ever met in my life. I never saw Kira in 5-6 months already. I don't know. I'm not good. It's October, November, December, January, February. Okay, in 5 months, I never saw Kira train 98%. Never. She can. I saw her sometimes perform 70%, like I saw her perform 100%, but I never saw her attitude be 99%. I never saw her, passion be 99%. I never saw her trying to be 99%. She always tries, she always put the under 10% of her attitude, of her effort in every training, in every match. Then, of course, you cannot always put every ball in the floor. But she, this main, characteristic I really noticed in her. And speaking with Shannon, she told me that probably, she's one of the best, of course, but many Canadian players have the same characteristic. And, so, okay, this is a team that I will have a lot of fun to coach.
I mean, as a Canadian, I can say I think it's a little bit of our hockey mentality. It's just about put your head down and work hard. And especially when you're playing for your country, it means a lot. And I feel as someone who just coached for Serbia, and I feel it's like Serbia is maybe another country that loves to, they play proudly for the flag on the chest.
Absolutely.
I feel like Canada is much like that in our own way, and it's always a privilege to wear the maple leaf. And if I can say one thing about our athletes, I will say that they wear that maple leaf very proudly.
I love that. I can't wait. I can't wait to compete with them.
Now, what do you think that you can bring to this program and to this team? Obviously, this team, they were kind of the darlings of the VNL, and unfortunately, I will have to say it was a little bit of your doing. That loss to Serbia in the VNL really hurt us along that way. But hey, you had to do what you had to do. But now, what do you think that you can bring to this team to help them grow and help them achieve into that next level, into the next echelon of teams in the world?
I think that we need, my main job from the beginning, I'm talking with Shannon that she knows, all the young and not young and all this. If there is one volleyball player in all Canada, Shannon she will know her, so I'm just asking her, we need to find receivers. We need to find a receiver, so if we find, one good receiver, if we find one small Gabi, that of course, I don't ask for Gabi.
I mean,
Gabi, there is one, and there will be only one. So, yeah. But okay, but this kind of player, one let's call garbage player. One player that they have great reception, great defense. Can have this structure. This would be my first focus at the beginning. So we need to find this kind of player, or if we don't find, I need to develop and build this kind of player, because without this kind of player, you cannot play ball at top level. This is clear. Watch Italy. Okay, they have Gonzo, they have Antropova, but Bosetti, and Di Gennaro, they are receiving, 7 meters of court every match. Watch Brazil, Gabi and the libero, how much space they are getting. All the top team, America, they don't need, because probably they have probably not so strong attackers, but they have amazing receiver every time. Every time 2 or 3 amazing receivers. So if you want to be at this level, you need to have this player. So I will work very hard to find or to build this player. And besides that, I will bring my experience, my knowledge, my desire to work, my obsession for do the thing in the best technical way we can. If I can tell you something, and I don't think it's an offense for nobody. Watching Canada from outside was really, watching this great player playing with great passion and great quality. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's like seeing a great jewelry, but they need to a lot of work to become very shiny. You see this diamond, mm-hmm. just taking off. What, this is a good diamond. A
little bit of polish.
Yes, it's not shining yet. It need to be a little bit of this, and this will be my job. So if we can have a little bit of more discipline, little bit of more technical skill, and this is developed. The team, when Shannon started the program and how the team finished last year, it's a totally different team. But we can still put some job on that, and I'm very excited to do that.
Oh, that seems like you say that you don't want to think too much about Team Canada and in the Bank season, but it seems to me like you've already done a lot of thought about.
Okay, I mean, I tell you, I'm not too clever, so I need to compart, But when I said, okay, this hour I think about Canada, then I thought about Canada, of course.
Now, one thing we've seen in Canada, maybe over the past few years, is that it's maybe been a little bit difficult for international coaches to stick. Mostly on the men's side. We just had Samuel Vuo who left the team, and then of course we had Antigua was the same thing. Is your plan to be in the next 4 years, or are you going to kind of more take it year by year with this program?
My plan is to bring the team to Los Angeles. I want to be in Los Angeles. I believe that Los Angeles, I believe, will be an amazing Olympics. And for volleyball, it will be kind of magic because, I'm the generation that grew watching these, Karsh Kirali, Steve Timmons, and these amazing beach volleyball player play in California, amazing tournament, and start to build the game, and I was this kind of generation that I watched this guy, so, and I really believe that an Olympic game in California, it will be pretty magic, because volleyball is really very important there, I don't know if you ever been there,
I have, yes.
I never saw in my life this amount of beach volley court that you cannot even count. So I love this idea. And I really want to bring Team Canada to Olympic. And I don't like to be a spectators, and I don't like to be a speaker. I prefer to be a singer, So and I really want that Team Canada can grow. And yes, go to Olympic is the first goal, but also why not go to Olympic and try to win a medal? This I know it's now like, go to the moon, but there is one thing that I really believe that, that nobody before the first man step the foot on the moon, nobody was thinking that would have been possible, and now it's kind of normal to go to the moon, and probably in a while we'll go to holidays to the moon. But, so you need to think big sometime, and so, of course, now have a medal in Olympic for Canada is like, to think to go in the moon in 1000, in the 80s. No, not today, sorry, 1800,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But somebody before step on the moon thought about that. Yeah. And so like Team Canada, we need to think also about that can be possible in 4 years because the team is strong. The team is strong. That we have a strong diagonal, we have a strong attacker, we have an amazing setter, we have a very strong middle blocker. I mean, we already, the base is very strong. So, now is my job to try to build the best I can around that. But first, go to LA and then dream a medal in LA.
I mean, why? You're getting me fired up here over here. Like, can we get this started right now? Let's go.
Because I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I have no idea what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with Shannon, because I'm talking now. She's the sport director. She organized them, and she was telling me, okay, we need to organize the tryout, and there will be 70, 50 players. I mean, I never did a tryout in my life. I said, Shannon, I have no idea what are you talking about, In Europe, we never do tryout. If I coach Serbia, I know all the Serbian players. If I coach Turkey, I know all the Turkish players. If I go Italy, I know all the Italian players. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, nobody in Europe can miss one player. But I know that in America, you used to do this kind. So I'm really excited. I mean, come on. I mean, I know the story of Kimberly Hill, and this, Kimberly Hill, she was the best position 4 of United States, when they win, not when they win Olympic, because she was not in the court, because she have showed the problem, but she was MVP in the World Championship, and she was so important for the team. And she was selected because her aunt wrote for her the participation to a tryout. And she was kind of, why you have to go tryout? I did for you. Please go do it for me, my nephew. And I said, okay, if you want, I go, and from this born Kimberly, so why we
Wow.
cannot be as lucky to find a player like this, So that's why I'm so excited about this tryout. And Shannon is good. Said, Giovanni, don't dream so much, Said, no, I mean, who knows, maybe come somebody that we don't know from a very isolated village that love volleyball, or who cares if she love volleyball? You have to be tall, strong, and motivated, and then we are there to teach volleyball, and we have 4 years to build a new player. So I'm really excited because I don't know exactly what to expect, and so this uncertain, give me a lot of vibes. I'm honest with you.
There's two things I want to address there. First and foremost, Canada is also, once again, I'm pushing for my own country here, but we're also nicely set up to go to the Olympics because the United States is hosting and because the FIVB is going back to a zonal qualification model, right? Canada is either second or third best in team in NORCECA, and the best team in NORCECA won't be there to qualify. So there is a massive opening there for both Canada and the Dominican Republic to be able to get on to the Olympics. So like that,
It's true.
that is absolutely massive. And I also like you have so much certainty with your job at Vakif Bank, right? And you're signed into 2028, and that's going to put you there for 20 years, which is almost unheard of amongst the elite coaches in volleyball. Like there's always so much movement in volleyball. There's such few certain jobs, but you have been at Vakif Bank pretty much since then. And I mean, I don't think we have time for it today, but in the future, when we see each other in Ottawa, I'd love to get into your time because I think, and speaking to some people in my community, that you are the architect of Turkish volleyball. And what you've done, winning your first Champions League, you won their first Champions League. You built that team from 2017 to 2022 into what they are today. And I'd love to get into that at another time, but. You have so much certainty with Vakif Bank and these teams that you've coached with so much certainty. Is it all of that uncertainty and how there's, it's very much almost of a gray area by going into Canada where there's like maybe a little bit of a fog and you know some of those things, but there's so much more to discover and it's just a new challenge for you?
Yes, but I don't see this like a fog or like a gray. I see like something to discover,
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
to where to learn also from, So I'm sure also, I mean, a lot of study, a lot of research, come from North America, come from Canadian coach. I mean, I think one of the best coach in the world is Glenn Oak.
Of course.
So Glenn Oak is, without any discussion, in my top 3 men coach in the history of volleyball forever, So that's why I really, respect also the coaching of Canada, the coaching mentality and the coaching philosophy. And that's why also I want to learn a lot, because for sure I will listen many new things from me. And, I am a kind of coach that I still consider myself young. I know I'm not, so don't laugh, but I still consider myself young. And so I want to learn, I want to become better and better and better, because I cannot ask to my player to become better and to grow if I don't want to become better and grow, so, and I hope I can learn a lot from Canada. But again, I don't see nothing gray and foggy. I see a lot of uncertainty. Yes, I see something that I don't know, but this generally, give to me a lot of excitement. Generally, I never go, even if I like a lot the place, I never go for my holidays in the same hotel and in the same place. I like to find something new every time. Even if I love a place so much, it's difficult. I go back twice.
Okay, I like that. Now I know you got to get going and you're waiting on some people. To close things out here, I have a list of a few Canadian things, and I'm gonna ask you if you know them or what you think they are. Okay,
Okay.
so
I will not be good in that game.
Once again, this is a learning opportunity. I'm here to teach you.
Okay.
But well, first and foremost, hockey.
Of course.
Yes. Have you ever been to a hockey match? A hockey game?
I was a couple of times when I was coaching in America, million years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, early 2000s, right? 2001?
Yes, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay, so you've been to a hockey game. Do you
And
know
I never understood. I love when the people throw the $35 hat they buy the hat and they throw the hat
it's
in
for a
the
hat
court.
trick. It doesn't happen all that time. You score 3 goals, hat trick. You got your hat's got to go.
Okay.
That's what
I
it
didn't
is.
know. I didn't know that you need to
Yeah,
score three. Okay.
look at that. We're learning already. Do you know what a toque is?
No.
Okay. So a toque is it's a hat. So what America calls a beanie, we call a toque. So you put this on your head in
Okay.
wintertime to keep you warm. I'm sure you have this in Italy as well, but we call it a toque in Canada. Um, Maple syrup. You're aware of maple.
Yes,
You're
I
aware.
know. I hope to find the best and the most organic one, even if I don't need to make too much crepe. No, you don't call crepe. What you put in the morning, but I mean, I'm not a big
Yeah,
fan of breakfast.
crepes. Yeah, no,
Yes.
but oh no, but you can use maple syrup in anything. Like,
Okay. I
yeah,
only know for breakfast. Okay.
no. Okay, we'll teach you a
Thank
little
you.
bit.
Thank you.
Poutine,
What?
poutine,
Poutine.
poutine. Yes. So
No, it's a bad
poutine.
word.
No, not at all. I mean, I wouldn't call it a delicacy, but it's something that, especially in French Canada and from coming from Quebec, that we eat. So it's French fries topped with cheese curds and gravy.
No calories. I
No
can
calories.
see.
It's very healthy. Absolutely. So,
Okay. Okay.
and then finally, the last thing is beaver tails. What do you think a beaver tail is?
I mean, tails. Let me think about an animal. No, I have no idea again. I'm
So,
sorry. I'm not
no,
prepared.
no. That's it's
I just ordered the Lonely Planet Guide of Vancouver, but it didn't arrive yet. So I need
perfect.
to
No,
have
no,
to
no.
check.
This is perfect. So a beaver, the beaver is our national one of our national animals.
Okay.
It has a big flat tail to pat down dirt when it builds its huts. So in
Uh-huh.
Canada, we have a dessert called a beaver tail, and it's a dough mixed in cinnamon and sugar, and
Oof.
it is delicious.
And another very healthy stuff. Very good. Okay.
Exactly. So when you come to Ottawa for VNL, I'd like to take you to a few different spots potentially and show you a few Canadian things, maybe on one of the days leading up to the event, if you're open to it. I'd like
Thank
to,
you. I love that. I
and
love that.
I've
Okay.
Ottawa's my hometown. I grew up there, so I feel like I would be the perfect person to show you around and show you a few things around the city and show you a few Canadian things maybe on the weekend leading up to the Ottawa VNL.
Very nice. If we don't do in the weekend, we're doing the free day.
Great. I love that. Well, Coach, thank you so much for chatting with us today. I'm very much looking forward to chatting with you quite a bit more. You can ask Shannon. I am quite annoying with my interviews, and I will make sure you do them with me, especially after matches. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to having you here in Canada and seeing what you can do with the women's national team. And I'm as a Canadian fan, I'm also quite excited with the enthusiasm that you're bringing into the team and having someone who's as prestigious as you are, the third most winningest coach in the Champions League. Um, you've won so much, and now you're joining this team, and it's an exciting time for Canadian volleyball. So, best of luck with the rest of your season with Vakıfbank. We will be watching. This is when the Turkish Sütyenler Ligi gets the best. That
Yes.
top end, those top four teams of the Sütyenler Liga are so fantastic, and with the Champions League, everything is going on. There's so much good volleyball to watch. Best of luck, and
That's
we
true.
will.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was fun for me, Everett. And I hope to meet you in person in Ottawa or in Vancouver. And we will have this unhealthy day together. I already understood.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll take you to a few things, and then we'll finish the night with a nice Italian dinner.
Okay, perfect. Little
Okay.
bit more healthy. Okay.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much, Coach. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was fun.
Okay.